Just me this time. Yeah.
Hey, Mitch.
Yeah. Good evening. Good
Say
evening,
hi.
Jake and RJ. How are you guys doing tonight?
We're doing good.
Okay. I hope some people jump in here pretty quick so we can go ahead and jump in and get started on this lovely topic that we have for this evening. This is going to be
Yeah.
our second episode in this. This might be something we're doing ongoing, it sounds like. So I'm pretty
Yeah.
excited about that. So,
Hopefully, our technical difficulties are good here.
hey, you didn't drop out this
Yeah.
so you are good. You're
Yeah.
good. All right, so I got the comments open here so I get an idea of what people may or may not be saying. How's everyone this evening?
We are doing good. How about you?
I'm all right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How was work?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, that was pretty good. I was actually working from home today, so I got a chance to put this together once I.
Oh, very cool.
So, pretty happy to get that all set up. So,
I wish I could do that.
if I can't do that, you know, if you're working at home, that's not a good thing. It doesn't go at your home.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess if you're going to watch this on a recording, I guess we can go ahead and get started too for those who are going to be watching this on a replay.
Sure.
All right. Jake, do you want to introduce what we are talking about tonight? What set are we looking at tonight?
So tonight, so tonight we are going to be talking about the 1967 tops. Me and my dad are going to do a few cards, some autographs, some of the RBI and the Hall of Famers. And Mitch, what are you doing?
I pulled a selection of cards that I like from the set. I didn't pull, obviously, all of them, but I wanted to be able to kind of talk about the challenges of being able to build this set in particular. I know you both are working on that one right now.
Yeah.
I completed it last summer. So I think anybody that's listening or watching this live stream now probably has done that before, can feel our pain as we're going to go into that a little bit here today.
Yeah.
I just wanted to kind of start. What was your earliest memories of the 1967 Topps set?
So mine was I probably got it when I was 10. My father gave me a whole box of cards, and there was probably about 50 or 60 of the 67s. So it was just easy when we got back into it just to start there. And
That's a pretty good start.
yeah, I mean we already had the mix, so that was easy.
I think we started
cool.
from that to the like playing cards to the 48 Bowman.
Yeah.
But at our local card show in Garfield, we have a nice guy who has the 67s.
Yeah, we try and pick here, pick there. You know, when we first started, we didn't know it was going to be like this. It gets a little intense at the end with the high numbers.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get into that tonight too.
Yeah.
So I think many people my age, and I was collecting cards in the mid to late 80s, remember seeing this card
Yeah.
in the 1987 Top set when they did the Turn Back the Clock series. This was to commemorate his, I guess at that time it would have been the 20th anniversary of him hitting the Triple Crown, which at that time he was the last person to have done it. Was Carly Yastrzemski was featured in that card there from the 1987 Top set. And, you know, like many of these cards, when I collected these as a kid, I was like, I'd love to be able to kind of get some of those original cards at some point in my life. And so I think when I got more exposure to the 1967 Top set was when I became more of an adult and eBay came around. So I was able to look at those cards more in detail. Because I was able to search the cards and kind of look at, okay, what does a Hank Aaron look like? Or what does a Willie Mays look like? Because I was starting to kind of collect some of the players I really liked from that era. So that was my first exposure really to the 67 set. I don't think
Is that how you picked up most of your cards through eBay, or did you go to card shows, or
a little bit of both? I think when I started building it, I first purchased an entire lot, several lots actually from eBay, and then I started to kind of piece together what I needed, and I was able to pick up a lot of the cards I needed at the National actually in 2019.
Right.
And at some point that year, I finished the Low series, which for everyone who's familiar or not familiar with the 67 set, low series are pretty much considered to be card number 533 and below. Anything above 534 through 609 is considered to be the 7th in the high series. And at that time, I think I picked up a lot at one point, had the bunning in it, and there was like maybe the Alomar card from the high series. So I'm like, okay, this can't be too hard, right, to kind of complete this, even though people had warned me about the difficulties of building the 1967 top set.
Yeah.
And from that point on, the next like almost 3 years, I spent just trying to chase down the high series for the set in particular.
Did you ever see upgrading with your cards? Did you ever upgrade any of the commons or anything like that? Because we see ourselves.
As I bought lots,
yeah,
I was able to pick out the better ones that I liked. And
yeah,
if it was a really bad looking card, I didn't include it. And I would just wait for the next slot to come in to be able to add it in there. But it was something I could upgrade. That's what I wanted to be able to try and do at that time. So.
Right.
So what for Jake and RJ, why did you guys even want to build the 67 set? What brought you to this painful experience of trying to be able to complete the entire 1967 set?
Well, we started with that, and then we started with the 48 Bowman probably the same time, and we've been going back and forth. We probably almost concentrated more on the 48 Bowman, and now we're concentrating more on because we only need 2 more for that. So now we're concentrating more on the 67. We just picked up the Brooks Robinson. That's one of the tougher cards.
Yep.
And we need the tough 2, or we're going to have to start purging our collection a little bit to get to those 2.
And we'll talk about which ones those are.
I'm sure you know which ones they are. 2 rookies.
From my side, I think that the way that we started the 67 is because of we got it from my grandpa, and then we started. So then we went to the Garfield card show, and we found this guy, and Dad told him our whole story about that. Right. He had all those cards from his dad from his childhood, and he said that he had a lot of 67. So we went from him. From all those Garfield card shows, we got at least 20 cards from him, because that's mostly how we have a lot of cards in the set. Yeah. From him, that's mostly the cards. That's
$2 commons.
Yeah, he does a lot of hard work. Like when I look at his cards, he puts the book prices in what his prices are, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
and he has a lot of good vintage. So.
One of these days, we're going to get Grandpa. I don't think on a live, but we're going to get him recorded, just talking about why he chose the 67 set and why he had so many, and did he remember opening packs and stuff like that. That'll be a cool episode down the road.
And for me, the reason I started completing it is I just finished the 68 set. Earlier on in like 2019, I finally purchased the mantle and the Nolan Ryan that I needed. There was a period of time where I wasn't really into cards much at all, and I got back into it, and I finished that set. So naturally, I was kind of gravitating towards what's the next big project, and I was debating between 67 and 57. I eventually just kind of said, okay, I'll do both. That was a little bit of a challenge too, kind of building both sets at the same time.
How many sets have you completed?
I don't even know. I'd have to kind of add them up. But as far as like from the vintage era, 80 forward, I have 80 through 67 and then 57 complete. And then I'm working on a couple other ones right now.
Wow.
But as I was kind of like beginning to get into 67, I had to put it on hold at one point and just kind of spend my energy on 57 because it was a little bit more attainable. And
how many cards are in that set?
407. And actually one of the mid-series is actually the short printed ones, but it's not like they're more attainable, more available than they are the 67s. So as I kind of got into the 67, and we'll kind of talk about the set now too, I was informed that this was the most difficult top set to complete outside of 1952. And I was like, no way. There's like 15 other years of cards between now and then. Why would that be the most difficult to be able to try and complete, right?
Yeah.
And there was some truth to it as I kind of started putting the things together. I know 66 potentially can be a very hard year to do, but when you look at the high series for 67, as we get into it, there's 2 huge rookie cards in there that command a pretty high value, which kind of then I think for me kind of escalated into a different realm. All right, so I think probably should talk about it, the 67 set here, and just kind of, for the most part, kind of talk about, its design features and some of the other characteristics about it. So for this here, it kind of reminds me a lot of the 53 Bowman in a sense, because it's a big color photograph. And they really try to do a lot to be able to remove a lot of the distractions on the card, but not having much of a border here other than just the white one, and not much lettering other than just the name of the team and having it pretty big with the facsimile signature above it. And then their name right at the top in black lettering and what pitch position they played. And this is obviously Whitey Ford, as you kind of see this card here. And then on the back, it was, I think you caught this. This was the first time they actually did vertical stats. So that's one of the things. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the first time they did green back like this, where they had avocado green. And that was kind of like one of the big design changes with the set.
Right.
And it is a total of 609 cards. And what I was able to kind of find is that in addition to that, there are checklists that have floating heads of typically the star players and Hall of Famers listed on them, including like Mantle. I think Brooks Robinson. I think even Mays might be listed on some of those checklists.
I think Eddie Matthews, right? Is oh no, he's not a checklist, but he's a float. He's
that one.
Floating head is Cott.
Cott's one of the ones. Yeah. Yeah, and I think Frank Robinson is another, if I'm not mistaken. They had World Series cards again, as they kind of featured throughout I think they start like in the late 50s all the way through the 60s and 70s, and then they kind of tailed off a bit in the 80s. They have those featured again, so we have a few of those to show you tonight. But as we kind of mentioned, the high series are one that's really hard to be able to put together. When I would go around to card shows, a lot of people would be, and I'd say like, okay, what are you looking for, right? As you kind of come in there, I'm like, I'm looking for 1967 Topps High Series. Do you have any? I don't know what kind of response you get when you ask that at card shows, but I got a lot of good luck, or I got laughed at a little bit as I asked around.
Or big price tags, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I quickly learned that, they couldn't keep them in stock. When they'd get them, they would sell them pretty quickly just because set collectors were always looking for them. So they moved pretty quickly. And that's why it took a long time to be able to put it together. And when you did see them, there was always people that were trying to be able to pick those up at shows. So there was really no room for negotiating on a lot of the prices on those cards because they kind of were what they were. And, they typically sold for the same prices or sometimes a little bit more than they were selling online at like eBay through auctions and such. So that was a reality too, of having to kind of accept that, okay, I have to pay this much for this card, even though it's a common.
Yeah.
But it's a common in the high series to be able to do it. All right, should we kind of start showing a little bit of some cards here, and as we kind of continue to talk about some of the features of the 67 set and some other things that were released within it. Hey, good evening, Mike. How are you? The 67 Norm Cash high number, perfect. Yeah.
God is great.
Hello from Japan. God is great.
Yeah, he's good. So we got the Orioles and the Dodgers. Let me take this out. And they both played in the 1966 World Series. Mm-hmm. With the Orioles winning the sweep 4-0. Frank Robinson MVP. We started watching a little bit of that. They got that on YouTube. The whole series. They have that.
If I'm not mistaken, that was the first year too that Frank Robinson was playing with the Baltimore Orioles, right? I think he had just gotten traded from Cincinnati. Because he was over the hill, and he won the Triple Crown that year and the World Series.
He was the World Series MVP. What else?
I got one.
You got one, Jake? Who is card 609?
That was one of them.
He's been thinking about this all day.
Tommy.
He's one close to my heart.
2 first names. Tommy John.
Tommy John.
Yeah, pitch for the White Sox for the long.
And we got the 2 MVPs. AL MVP, NL MVP, Triple Crown.
It's a good looking Clemente right there.
Yeah. Batting champion 3 years in a row. What do you got there, Mitch?
Yeah, as you kind of talked about the World Series, I'm gonna kind of probably go through a couple of the cards in kind of chronological order, but I'll jump around a little bit too. So the very first card in the set, there's a couple of cool combo cards in the set as you kind of go through there, where they feature several Hall of Famers on the same card. Maybe not as famous as the ones on the 68 set, but for this one, this is a really cool card. It's the first card of the set. It features Brooks Robinson and Frank Robinson and Hank Bauer on there, who was the manager of the Orioles at that time, who was the manager prior to Earl Weaver coming on board and being their manager, their longtime manager at that point. So I think it's just really kind of cool seeing the card on there, kind of featuring it and saying the champs. I don't think they really repeated that card outside of like Heritage and any of their products thereafter. Other than that, it was like the entire team photo from what I remember, if I could be wrong about that. So, and then the World Series subset looks like little TVs, kind of like a little like 1955 Bowman, if you will, with the black and white picture in the middle there. This one's of Jim Palmer. He kind of really rose to stardom during that World Series as well on the mound.
Very nice. 3D80s kid, what's up? Who else? God is great. Hello.
All right, so I have a little trivia question for the audience. Now we got a few people chiming in. Hey, it was 3D80s kid. All right, so Whitey Ford. I'm getting back to Whitey Ford. This is the last card of Whitey Ford. This is 1967 Topps card. So I maybe kind of think of, when I'm building sets, I like to think of like what's like the last card of like a Hall of Famer or a star. So I have a question that's kind of related to that. Of these three pitchers that once pitched for the White Sox that are featured in the 1967 Topps set, which one retired the latest? So which one played the longest in Major League Baseball? Not the most seasons, but which one was the last one to retire? So you're going to be two Hall of Famers and one near Hall of Famer of this. You got your choice: Tommy John, Tom Seaver, and Steve Carlton. Right? I don't have any prizes for you guys, but I was curious if you guys were able to get this one right. Any guesses out there? Jeopardy music. Do. We're looking it up now on the internet.
Go.
I don't see any guesses just yet. Tommy John. Tommy John is right. We've got Naveen on there as well as Mike Austin, right about the same time, both 7-17. Sorry, Naveen, you don't win anything. So when I see you next, sorry, I'll just congratulate you. Mike, if I meet you in person, I'll congratulate you as well. So. All right, I'll have other trivia questions if we jump into it. All right, so the next couple cards I want to kind of point out was just kind of showing off like Roger Maris. This was the very first card he with the St. Louis Cardinals, which he was part of their World Series championship team in '67, and the season they lost in 1968. There is actually a proof of this card that was never released, but did slip into the public, and it's really scarce, where he's still listed as a Yankee ball player. So that's like one of the more expensive, I guess, cards that was never released or meant to be released cards of 1967. It's a blank back, so it doesn't have any of his stats on it.
Yeah, I've yet to see that one.
Card. But that would be pretty cool. So
In the
find that one. I bet it'll be at the National somewhere. Somebody will have that for sale, and it'll be like it'll pick that one up. Yeah.
What else?
Okay, can I show mine now?
Yeah, sure. Jake picked his two favorites.
Okay.
So I have two favorites. Let's go with the ISA first. So we got the 1967 Topps NL home run leaders. Hank Aaron, Richie Allen, and Willie Mays.
Richie Allen.
Can't get much better than that card right there.
The three Hall of Famers in the club.
Jake's favorite.
And my next one is a 1967 Topps AL RBI leaders. Frank Robinson, Harmon Killebrew, and Boog Powell.
Boog.
Good old Boog on there. So you like the league leader cards then, Jake, right?
Yeah, and when I see those kind of cards grade, I just look for good players on them, and I'm like, that's a good one.
Like Austin says, Richie Allen belongs in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more.
Look at this.
Could not agree more. All right. So actually, there's another player that has his final card in here, another Hall of Famer that has his final card in 67, but he doesn't have a standalone card. He's featured only on the league leader cards. And that's Sandy Koufax. He's actually on 3 different cards where he led the league in strikeouts, ERA, and wins. But there's only one where he's featured with 3 other Hall of Famers, and that's the one I wanted to kind of show out real quick. So you got Sandy Koufax, Juan Marichal, Gaylord Perry, and Bob Gibson, all on the same card.
That's a
You
cool
talk
card.
about great pictures of the 1960s. It doesn't get much better than this. When you kind of look on this card right here, kind of captures all of them, other than maybe like Brian Stale, Whitey Ford. You might be able to find a few others, but definitely was kind of the passing of the torch where you have like Gibson and Koufax on there on the same card in particular.
Yeah.
So I always think that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a cool card.
Speaking about combo cards too, there's 2 I pulled out in addition to that champs. One that I think are really fantastic. One being from the St. Louis Cardinals, you have Kurt Flood and Lou Brock listed on there. It's one in the first
yeah,
series,
that one, yeah.
number 63, which is the card Clubbers. I think it's just kind of interesting and pretty cool that you have Kurt Flood featured on a card here, just because of his place in history of the game.
Yeah, those are
and
really
him
two
trying
good
to
ones.
fight free agency, but not getting it, losing out, and kind of pretty much losing his career. But it's nice to kind of see him featured on a card there
Yeah.
with the Cardinals during his heyday before he was traded against his will, which kind of then necessitated him trying to actually like fight for free agency at that point.
And this is actually one of my cards that my father had when he was a kid that we
That's
sent
beautiful.
to PSA.
And
Yeah.
that was one of our first submissions that
Yeah.
we sent.
It's the first submission to PSA.
Like that, I think
That's
that was the
fantastic.
first, right?
Yeah, that was
Oh
our
no,
first.
no, that was our second because we sent the one. I don't remember the one that we sent with Manny.
This we actually sent through a local card shop, and then we figured out how to do it, and we started doing it ourselves
Yeah, we started it with Manny and I think what's
in New Jersey.
in New Jersey. And we have this. My next one is the 1967 Topps Bill Menenowski. Mazurowski. Really nice.
So we got 3 autos from this year.
Okay, so you got good old Maz there, which
Oh,
I always
Maz.
pulled that card too, as I was telling you guys earlier, just because of the big chew in his jaw
Yeah.
there. Kind of remind me of Nellie Fox. Picture
Yeah.
with a big bout of chewing tobacco in his mouth.
My next one is Frenskin
Fergie
Jenkins.
Jenkins.
You know what's significant about that Fergie Jenkins too?
First Cubs card.
His first Cubs card. Yeah, he was in the 66 set as a rookie, but a dual image with one other player on there. So
Yeah.
that's his very first Cubs card.
And one of the best autographs here, I think it's better than the Bill Romanowski, the Steve Carlton autograph. I
Oh,
have
that's
Wow.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a few Steve Carlton autos too, but not on a card that old. Only on his cards with the Phillies.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Yeah, it's a nice one. It almost matches exactly with the facsimile. Crazy.
The S.
Yeah.
I don't
So
think.
I see that Mike did a shout out for the Mays and McCovey combo, so I thought I'd show that one. Real
Oh,
quick,
that's
that was
nice
one of the other
one.
ones I picked. I
That's
just
awesome.
think it's kind of fascinating because for as long as these 2 guys mashed balls together with the San Francisco Giants, this is the only time you see a card of them like together, which is kind of interesting in Topps lore that there wasn't like a combo card of them at some earlier point. So that was just kind of interesting. And so it's a unique
McCovey
card in that
over
respect.
him.
You
It's
got
crazy.
the 2 best Giants of the 60s probably featured on the same card. I know you probably can make an argument for Cepeda trying getting in that group too. So, but those are the current ones at that point because Cepeda was with the St. Louis Cardinals at that point.
It's amazing how much bigger he is than Mays.
Right. Look at that again. Yeah,
It's amazing.
And he's taller too.
Yeah, that's what I mean, bigger.
several inches there on there.
Yeah.
And,
Good evening, Zach and Porter.
And they're both Willie, so that's how they're really front of friends.
Both
Peter
Willies.
Penson is very underrated. Couldn't agree more. He's got a nice card in the high series in this set as well.
And this one.
Got it.
All right. So
Uh,
what's the story with the high series, right? So I did do a little research on that. So why is it so scarce? So this was the biggest set that Topps produced at that point. They'd never gone over the 600 barrier up to that point. And it's believed that the 7 series was released pretty much on the verge of football season. So dealers weren't ordering the 7th series because they still had a lot of 5th and 6th series cards around, and they also wanted football cards. That was like kind of one theory that was with it. And it really didn't get distributed across the entirety of the United States. There was this theory at some point that it didn't make it west of the Mississippi, which I heard later on when I was doing a video about the 67 top set, that that wasn't necessarily true, because there was a collector that was in like the Washington area that was able to get the high series when he was a kid at that point. So, I mean, there's a lot of reasons, I guess probably why it's scarce. And those are probably the two kind of primary ones, is that they just weren't in demand at that point. And so they just weren't being ordered for the most part. Because of the printing sheet too, they had like an unusual number. So there's not an even number of cards that are produced for the 7th series. So some cards are going to be, they're all short printed. Let's put that first and foremost, they're all short printed in comparison to the 6th and below series. But there are some cards within there that are actually double printed because they had to put them twice on the printing sheets on there. Whereas some, they're just going to be, and the majority of them are just single printed, which makes it much more difficult to be able to try and put that set together, because you have a ton of single printed cards within the high series. And unfortunately, like the big name on there is not one that was double printed. So that was the story with the 7th series, is from what my understanding was. If there's other ideas in the comments on there, let me know. That's what I think I will be able to find out about it. All right,
Zach and Porter, good evening.
Other ones we want to put out. I got a few more to kind of show here. I mentioned this one earlier. We didn't have a chance to show it yet, but can't talk about 67 without talking about Carly Strzemski, right?
Yeah, we try and keep the Red Sox out of this house.
So your sets are complete without the Red Sox. That's when you decide your sets are done. You have everything but the Red Sox, from what I've done, right? Yeah, but this is a really good looking Strzemski. It's one of my favorite ones anyway. So just because of that card going back to 87 tops, which is, I think, why I like it so much, because I had an image ingrained from my childhood kind of together in the same point. So there they are together side by side.
Very cool. And 87 was our favorite top set in the 80s. Love the brown border.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like the bat looking on there.
We picked the 2 rookies of the year, the AL and the NL rookies of the year. You got Tommy Helms.
Which one do you like better, Tommy Helms or?
You don't hear much of Tommy Aggie.
I'm a little biased.
Tommy Aggie's really clean. Show the back there.
Got 2 Tommies.
Show the back. Oh my God, that back is so different.
It is a little brighter.
Look at that.
That's one thing you notice on the 67s for sure, is that some of the cards have really bright avocado green. Some are darker.
Yeah.
And they both don't age really well. So they do pick up a lot of dirt. So.
And these are, this is number 505 and 455.
Here's a question for you from Zach and Porter. This is for me. This is not for me. It's for you guys.
Yes. Zach and Porter. You hear what he said? Right here.
Okay, I'll read it. Question: do you keep the Red Sox out of the house, but a Bird jersey is allowed? Yeah, because I love Bird. I got this for my birthday. I didn't ask my dad to get this. He got it for me.
Yep. I know what he likes.
Ever since I had that night.
Knicks Celtics, not really a rivalry.
No.
Nah.
But me, as a fan of the NBA, if they made a Magic Johnson and Larry Bird jersey, I'll be all over that.
He loves his vintage basketball, this kid.
And my soccer. Don't forget my soccer.
He loves soccer.
I like soccer as well. Maybe we can do one on soccer in the future too.
Loves his soccer cards.
I saw your comments earlier as mine on there. So cool, Roberto Clemente there. Hank Aaron. We haven't really mentioned Hank Aaron at all. I actually had this card graded, back in like the early 2000s, and I sold it because I wanted to get some money to be able to start purchasing cards for sets. And I wish I would have held on to the graded copy, but I'm still pretty happy with having this one in my collection at this point.
Get the Hank Aaron.
Okay.
We have a whole row on our wall of 67 graded cards.
Oh, they're coming down now. Is that
Yeah,
what's
coming
happening?
Okay, we don't need
So the 67 set also had, obviously these weren't officially sanctioned Topps cards, but were produced in Venezuela. They did have their Venezuelan counterpart cards on there. So you can find rare cards of 67 that are Venezuela editions in there. And in addition to that, they also had a Venezuelan release that year of retired players, a 338 card set. You've probably seen those. Those are like terribly scarce cards. And they're
Yeah, I
always in terrible condition.
I have 2 bids on 2 of them right now, so we'll see how that goes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the inserts for the set actually were posters. I don't have any of those pinups. If you had a pinup, it might be kind of cool to show it, but I don't have one right now.
Yeah.
They can just
No soccer.
Oh,
No. Next show.
All right, maybe show a few more cards. Just kind of go through here. So, Billy Williams. Of course, feature some Cub cards tonight. I like the Billy Williams cards. I just really kind of like that image of Billy Williams. It's one of my favorite Billy Williams cards. I'm not obviously a huge Billy Williams fan personally, but I do like the vintage cards of him for sure. And this one, I think, is one of the sharpest ones that he's had at this point.
There's 47 error cards in this set.
Okay.
So this is one of them. Number 82, Johnny Odom. And his birthday on the back, if you can see it, let me take it out of this.
Is that Blue Moon Odom?
Instead of it saying 1946, it says 1046.
Oh, he's a really old player.
Another one is probably the most famous one is the Milt Pappas number 254 without the facsimile on the front. The only card in the set without the facsimile.
Yep.
And then I picked this one out of the 47. The Bob Purdy has the wrong team. So he's on the Giants. But on the back, it has the Washington Senators.
Well, that's funny. I don't think I ever noticed that before.
There's a few of them that are there. Some of them are corrected. Some of them they just left.
All right. I got another quiz question for the group here. All right. Of the players that are featured in 1967 set, what's the only player that was an active player in the 1940s?
I can't
A
answer.
bit of a deep dive on this one. He was the only player that played in the 1940s that's also in the 1967 set, but not as a manager card. So no manager cards. You know the answer to that, Jake?
I gotta say maybe Tony Perez.
That wasn't Tony Perez. Yeah, he was.
Wait, what was the question again? Wait, what was the question?
Sure. Who was the only player that was a rook or played in the 1940s that also was in the 1967 set? You know, I got to check on Smokey.
Wasn't it,
I'm not exactly sure on that one, but that's not the one I was thinking of. But
Steve Carlton?
no, this guy pitched during the war, actually, World War II.
When he was 18, right?
He wasn't 18. He might have been 17 actually when he did it. Yeah. Joe Nuxall. And it was the one I was thinking of. And I got to check on Smokey. You might be right, Mike. So if you're got that one correct there, you got next little bonus point on there for me. So yeah, Joe Nuxall was during the actual war. They were just struggling to find players to fill out their rosters, and they saw this young guy with a really sharp arm that they wanted to try and potentially put on the field. Signed him. This is Cincinnati Reds. Pitched a couple innings and then didn't pitch again until the late 50s when he was a little older. So is Lou Burdett another one too? That might be another one as well. So
yep.
Can I show one?
Mike's got me all left and right on there, like whether ones might be actually true, because Lou is actually in the 67 set as well as Smokey Burgess. So. I was thinking of Joe Nuxall on that one. So
Joe pitched at 15. Wow.
Pitched at 15.
Wow.
Mike is just filling it all in. Thank you, Mike. So you mentioned the Tony Perez card. Actually, this is like maybe my favorite card from the 67 set.
Yeah.
Can I?
It is.
What number is that, Mitch?
476. This is so 1960s to me. Got the beautiful uniforms on there, Eagles uniforms, big numbers and letters on the back.
Yep.
Can I show one of the funniest cards in this whole set?
Go ahead.
The funniest cards? Go for it.
One of the funniest cards.
Making fun of Terry's dad for it.
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah.
Tito.
Funny because you're making fun of Terry Francona, who is the Red Sox manager.
It all ties together.
You gotta make fun of Tito on there.
Yeah. Some of the other error cards are the checklist cards.
Oh, yeah.
This is one of them. I don't have the error, but if you look in the error, his ear is missing.
Mhm.
His left ear.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we don't have
That's
that
like
error.
one of the funniest ones I've seen.
Yeah.
You're
What
funny.
else?
I'm kind of getting.
I don't like. You were saying you don't like the Mick, right? I don't like the Mickey either.
That one? You love
I don't
that.
like how the hat is showing. I can't. The sweatband on the hat. I just can't stand that. It's probably my least favorite.
You used to love that, Mick.
Yeah.
You used to love it, but now you don't.
Yeah, I don't like it anymore.
It's my best condition card, and I certainly was excited when I got it. But for
What do
me,
you have in? What grade do you have?
It was ungraded when I bought it. Yeah,
Okay.
I haven't graded it. Yeah. For me, it was kind of. I think when I told you, talked to you earlier, it was like I felt like that was the kind of picture when you go to the DMV and you see what your image was that you want to go back. And
Yeah, they didn't tell you they were taking the picture. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I just don't think it's a very good looking picture of Mickey Mantle.
Yeah.
That's what I thought we did. Can I see that one? No, can I see that one too?
Which
The
one?
Dodgers. Right there.
This guy?
This
This guy looks like a likable guy.
That's another funny card I found.
You like this? Do you like the box haircut? Is that what you like?
No, yeah. But like the smile, I felt like the first card I showed that was a funny card. I feel like he was talking to someone in an interview. Some random photo artist took a picture of him.
I like the Davy Johnson's kind of weird looking with that face.
Yeah, it's a cool looking card, but yeah.
Yeah,
I
goofy
agree with
face.
Mhm.
Got it.
What else do you got, Mitch?
Well, I just got high series cards left at this point, so we're getting into like the fun ones. And like,
I forgot where I heard it. I forgot where I heard it the other day. The
pain when I was putting it together.
yeah, I forgot where I heard it the other day. It might have been on YouTube. It might have been somewhere else. But could you imagine if? So I can't give credit to where I heard it. Could you imagine if Nolan Ryan was a year prior and those two were on the same card
You know the funny thing
as
today?
a rookie card?
I was asking my dad, imagine if there was because I knew that today you were going to do the Willie McCovey and Willie Mays card. So I was thinking, what if what if Tom Seaver and Nolan Ryan were on the same card, even a rookie card? Guess that,
Yeah.
and my dad said that would be the most expensive card ever.
Yeah, I think so. It would be up there.
Two of the most best Hall of Famers on the same team, the same position, and they both got an award.
It would be up
Because
there.
Tom Seaver got the Cy Young Award, but Nolan Ryan got like 3 times. Remember the pitch that the guy threw the other night, where you don't give anybody like a like a home run or anything. They both won many awards.
The no hitters. Yeah.
But imagine, and like right now, if someone had that card.
That would be a crazy
That was a
card.
pretty amazing card to have, especially if it's a 67 high series card.
Yeah.
That'd be a little crazy. All right. So anybody that's been trying to put together this set, you recognize this card and you recognize the pain of trying to actually purchase this card. This card is sneakingly expensive. Being able to get it, I think in part because people want to be able to complete the Baltimore Orioles set of the players that won the World Series. I think in part, but it's also a short print within the high.
What number is that,
series.
Mitch?
It's card number 558 on there. And they're I mean, Mark had a good career. but other than that, they're kind of nobodies. So that's like kind of the pain of like putting together this set. And when I say expensive, it's not $20. So just kind of put that in perspective. It's much more than that as you start putting that together.
Yeah.
So I got my next
beat up.
card and my
Sneaky
final. Got my next card and the final question for the night, and I think this one should probably be pretty easy. All right. So now we got Rod Carew. Let me take it out of the holder too, so I get a little bit of a glare on there, if I can see. All right, so we got Rod Carew's rookie. Picked it up last year.
Well, that's a nice one.
Nice.
Well, that's an
I believe this is actually a double. In the fact
Is that the
demand,
set?
it still goes for a lot of money on there when you're trying to be able to pick the card up.
That's number 2.
Is Seaver rookie?
That's number 1. Yeah.
So my question and the question for tonight. So Hank Allen was the other player featured on this card. He had two brothers that also played Major League Baseball. What was the name of his brother that won the MVP award? And what year did that brother win the MVP award? And what team was he playing for?
Do, 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 do.
You want me to do the I can sing the Jeopardy
We'll
song.
do that, yeah, if you want.
And you have to answer it correctly too. It's who is.
One just had a cup of coffee. Another one actually went on to win an MVP award.
My gosh,
You know what year that was and what team he was playing for.
Anybody?
Wait,
Another?
Mike Austin.
Hey.
Wait, Mike Austin, you really think? Oh,
What bitches?
That is hard sometimes, for sure. Kind of looking at your comment there, Zach and Porter. It is sometimes hard picking up the comments that are super.
Yeah, but then you have some people that are completionists. So
Like me, like you.
like me.
All
Just
right.
hunt. I
I'm
love
not seeing any answers on there. So, all right. One of his two brothers was named Ray, and he pitched for the St. Louis Cardinals just in 1972. 1972 was also the year his other brother that played Major League Baseball won the MVP award. There it is. Dick Allen is the correct answer. Richie Dick Allen won it 1972. Do you know what team he was playing for? Zach and Porter in 1972.
I think he was playing for the. I don't want to say it.
Phillies? No.
No. Come on, Zach. White Sox.
Chicago White Sox.
Oh, should have known.
Okay,
My question's
hold on.
on the White Sox theme. So, hey there, Shoebox Legends.
Shoebox.
Okay, Mike Austin, you
Another
really.
Red Sox fan.
Okay, Mike Austin. Not right now. Since I'm wearing a Larry Bird jersey, you really think that the NBA is pathetic? And he said, "Screw LeBron James."
Where?
It's funny. Screw LeBron James. NBA is pathetic.
People are entitled to their own opinion.
Are you trying to say NBA is pathetic because, like my dad told me, like Stephen Curry ruined the game because of the threes?
It's a 3-point game. It's a 5-out. That's it.
Yeah, like it's now NBA is just shooting threes.
There's no more interior. All right, enough of the NBA.
Again, on the topic of baseball, we have the Rocky Colavito card.
Yeah, we don't have that one yet either.
The big one that's in there. This actually goes more than
In shoebox.
oddly enough, but because it's a short printed in the 67 set, which I think was kind of a fascinating observation as I was getting that card, as I could pick up his rookie card.
Yeah, he's in the top 10 most expensive in the set.
Yeah, it's a cool looking card. I think it's a guy that needs to be reconsidered for the Hall of Fame personally, especially while he's still alive. He's still around, but can't imagine he'll be around too much longer.
Yeah.
All right, how about Mike Shannon? Passed away just this past spring, voice of the Cardinals. It's also one of the big ones to pick up towards the very end of the set, card number 605.
Yeah, he's in the top 10 too.
He's actually in the high series in 1972, so he has a couple cards that are kind of expensive for a player that was just okay. Pretty famous because of his broadcasting, but not because of his playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that the White Sox gave up 6 in the top of the 11th. I was actually watching that right as I was getting ready to jump on here. So, and it was all small ball stuff the White Sox can't do. I don't know how they're doing right now, but they're probably getting ready to
They're not-
do the second game.
They're not that good.
No,
No.
I'm hard on my team, so I always kind of think that they're going to like mess up.
Yeah.
Their heart's been broken too many times. You mentioned Brooks Robinson.
It's out with SGC right now.
Hey, where's the other one, Rob?
Put it out for grading.
No, we don't have it. We only have one.
Uh,
We actually got that for an excellent. We got that, his 70. We got the 67, his 68, and we got a 66 Joe Morgan for $70.
Oh my God! Wow.
And this Brooks Robinson, I'm thinking it's got to come back to 5 or 6.
can you show the
Yeah,
card?
so you got a steal on that one.
Yeah, we did.
So this is the same image also on the 69 Brooks Robinson. So I was looking around and researching this card, trying to pick it up for myself. I ran into a few 69s, and in my like haste to like think that was a great deal, I'm going to buy it right now. I'm like, wait a minute, that's a 69 card. And I almost bought it a few times, thinking it was the 67. So watch out for that. That could be an easy mistake if you're not watching very carefully, because they actually look pretty similar in design too. All right, getting down to the last couple ones on here.
I just went and grabbed the fuel off the wall.
We'll do it to him too.
We got a Cepeda.
You do the card.
I like that card just because he was a Cardinal on that one for sure.
This is my dad's card from when he gave us the cards.
Oh, Mr. Tiger.
Yeah.
Out Milan.
So in my shoebox, it still lasted out an SGC 3.
Awesome. That's
Oh,
great after all those years.
oh my God.
That was a 3.
Oh, I got these. So we forgot one.
Which one?
I'll show you when you're in with those. Wait, did you
So
do
look
the
at
card
Lolich.
already, Dad?
Which one?
Did you go to the card Shemsky?
No.
Okay. Okay, I'm trying to find the card Shemsky.
Yeah, I might not have taken it down.
Oh.
Gaylord?
Can we show the card Shemsky?
Yeah, it's simple. Great photography.
All right. So the one we missed for the autographs of the trading card, P.D. Ward and Don Burford
Tom
autograph.
Buford and Pete Ward? Yeah, one of the White Sox guys.
Yeah,
One of the
both
first
of them.
guys I picked up for 67.
They're both autographed. So
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
Saying, I think it's up to card 109. They don't have we were talking about that. They don't have the dot in between their name and the position.
Position, right?
They don't have the dot between card 1 and 109, and then after 109 they added dot.
okay, my next one is the 1967 Topps Eddie Matthews.
Yeah, I don't like this card either.
Why not?
I don't like the
when he's looking the other way.
no, I just don't like guys without baseball caps on. Something about it doesn't look right.
I don't like the hair
Still in
either.
the Braves uniform in that one too.
Oh, here it is. Hold on.
All right, well, we've mentioned this card a few times. Should we show it?
Which
Show
one?
the big one?
Oh, that one. Yeah, go ahead.
Which one, the D?
I just found another autograph that we have.
I just showed that.
Oh, you did? Okay. Oh, look at that one.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's got to be full screen. That's a beaut.
Four.
And there's a story with this card, actually. And I didn't know it at the time I purchased it. So I purchased it last summer. It was one of the last ones I needed for the set. It wasn't the last card, but it was getting pretty close. So I was negotiating over eBay, and I got to put a buy it now. This guy that was willing to sell it to me at the price that I was able to negotiate with. And then I made a video about my complete set when I finally finished it about a month later. I put the video out, and to this date, it's the most watched video I've put on YouTube. So a lot of people are looking to build 67 sets. I had no idea like it was such a popular set at that point too, until I started watching the numbers of that video go up and up. So, and then I got a message in my email from the seller that actually sold me that card. And this is what he said. He said, "Hi, Mitchell. I was watching a few YouTube videos last night about the 67 Topps cards, and I saw your 67 set and my original Tom Seaver card. I really enjoyed seeing your complete set and hearing about all the cards. When I saw the Seaver at the end of the video, I immediately recognized it. That was very cool seeing my Seaver card become the crown jewel of such a nice 67 complete set.
Wow.
Guys,
Yeah, so this has only been in 2 hands. This is like your cards getting from your father, your grandfather, Jake.
Yeah.
This has only been in 2 hands, mine and his. So that's
Wow.
really cool because, often you
And
don't know
how old,
stuff on eBay what the hands have been on that card. So
Wow. So he had it original.
yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah, and he just reached out to me on that one. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a cool story.
And I'll hold on to that until at some point I got to part with it. So whether
Yeah.
when that happens, I have no idea.
Yeah. You got a lot of sets, so we're only on our second. We just bought a 1978 complete set, and we have an
7, 8
86.
That was the
tops.
first year I collected was 86.
Yeah, 86 Donruss, I think.
All right, I got a few more. I got the 1967 tops. I got it. I got the 1967 tops. Dave Johnson PSA 5. Can you see the other one?
The other one, I don't know where it is. Go ahead, show.
Okay. Here we go. Just right up.
Yep,
You like
there's Davey again?
Yeah. Got the 1967 tops. Ron Soto.
Santo.
Santo.
Mm-hmm.
CSG 3.5. Very good.
This is a cool card. I like this one. Let me show this one.
He's a very famous Cub player here because of his time broadcasting as much as it was.
And then
This is a great card that we didn't show.
I always felt like the way we liked this person and Allison Howard, I always thought we liked him the same.
He's always smiling.
Yeah.
Any guesses?
Any guesses in the comments? First person.
Always smiling? Willie
Yeah.
Mays?
No.
This is off his cards. Who'd you pull?
Doesn't play for the White Sox, but he plays for the other Chicago team.
Oh, Ernie Banks.
Ernie Banks.
Ernie on the-
So we got the 1967 tops, Ernie
Mr.
Banks,
Cubby.
CSG 3.
Always smiling. Let me see. It's got a glare.
Now, guys, I have one in the back that is from mine. That is not a 67, but I want to show you guys it because I always thought it was a 67. Billy, here we go. About 1967 tops.
Oh, it's the one
Billy
Mitch just showed.
Williams, CSG 5.
Nice.
There's Billy. Yep. It's a beautiful card. I showed that one earlier as well. I'm glad we agree on the beauty of that card.
And then we got the Kurt Flood, 1967 tops Kurt Flood, CSG 4.5. A lot of the CSG we got is from Tim TNT Collectibles. Go check him out on TikTok.
TikTok.
And he has a YouTube channel too.
Very nice.
And this is the
All right,
60.
last one.
No way, I have another one after this one.
Okay.
1967 tops Bob Gibson, PSA 4.
Can't go wrong with Bob Gibson. My father's favorite pitcher.
Nice.
And my Gibson, that is 2 years later, 1969. Tops Bob Gibson, PSA 1 pour
Got a deal on this one.
for like
Nice.
around $10.
$10.
10 to 15.
All
I
right.
agree that Kurt Flood needs to be reconsidered. I love that 69 card. It's so beautiful. It's such a good image. So
I was like,
I got a little story on like my last card I want to show if that's
Yeah,
okay
go ahead.
with you. So it's my player profile that I wanted to kind of show for this one. So this card is featured in the High Series, and it's
Here's
actually
your box.
it's the very first card of this player who was an MVP a few years prior, and he was playing with another team. So as I mentioned, I showed earlier the 87 tops. Turn back the clock, Kyle Yastrzemski. There was another player in that little run of cards there that is actually featured in the 67 set. But this card never existed. This was made up just to make this card for the 87 top set. There was never a 1962 tops Maury Wills card. In fact, his rookie card is actually 63 Fleer and doesn't appear in any tops products until 1967.
Nice.
It's the very first top card. It's in the High Series. It goes for a little bit more because of that story within itself. So I want to talk just a little bit about Maury Wills and just his history. So He was an active player actually from 59 to 72, and he didn't have a card other than the top card until 1967. He didn't start baseball until age 26, and there you go, right there. And retired later on in 1939. He was kept in the minor leagues for a while because obviously the Brooklyn Dodgers and later Los Angeles Dodgers had a shortstop named Pee Wee Reese that was holding down that position for many years, who's obviously we all know is in the Hall of Fame. Wills also played, in addition with the Pirates, he also played for Montreal. He was part of the expansion draft and was drafted off of the Pittsburgh Pirates and played for Montreal for a year before returning to the Dodgers and then finishing his career with them. So he was part of 3 teams that won the World Series. He won 2 Gold Gloves. He was an MVP in 1962. He was a 7-time All-Star. And he actually led the NL in steals 6 times, and he had 586 for his career. He was also briefly a manager, which was a short-lived stint in Seattle through the 80 and 81 seasons. He wasn't really known for making the best decisions as a manager. Like, for example, he was known to have called for a relief pitcher without anybody warming up in the bullpen. Not the first person to have done that, but definitely one that was kind of noted about his legacy as a manager. He did manage in the minor leagues in Mexico for a little while as well thereafter. He actually had the single season stolen base record of 104, which broke Ty Cobb's record until obviously it was later broken by Rickey Henderson later on. His personal history, he was the 7th of 13 kids, so he had a pretty big family. Started playing semi-pro at 14. He also played football and basketball as well. He was an analyst on NBC for about 4 seasons before he actually started coaching again and later managed the Mariners for that brief stint. He also was a pretty good musician. He was a good vocalist, played the banjo, the guitar, the ukulele, and also, as I mentioned, he could sing and released actually 2 records and was a part-time owner of a nightclub. Unfortunately for Maury Wills, he did have a lot of struggles with, unfortunately, addiction in his time. So that kind of was something he really struggled with in his lifetime and resulted in him also having a lot of tax problems later on in life. I think he finally did kind of get cleaned up as he got older. But that is kind of like the story of Maury Wills. He also had a son, Bump, if you remember Bump Wills, who played briefly in the major leagues, but obviously didn't reach the heights that his father did. So that is Maury Will, my player profile for this episode. So there it is, the 1967 Topps Maury Wills.
There he is. What number is that, Mitch?
That number is 570.
I don't think we have that one.
All right. Anything else? Any closing thoughts you wanted to kind of wrap up about actively building the 67 set?
I think the next card we're going to be chasing is the Carew. I think we're going to work our way to the Seaver. So little by little, chip away, you know?
You'll get there. You'll get there at some point. You'll be able to obtain that.
I mean, we've been able to, you know, but it's just not, we want the one that we want, and we're not going to settle on something that we don't want. So we're going to wait it out and see what we can do.
And I want to show one more thing. I have a little story of what my dad just said.
While you're doing that, do you have anything coming up on your channel in the next couple of days that people should look forward to?
We're going to be doing VRs for, who do we got? We got Double D's VR we got coming, and we got a VR for you, which I don't know if it's over yet, but we're still going to do it.
That'd be great. Yeah, I'll have to actually do my drawing this week.
Yeah, we're going to do it.
It'd be great to see another video. I have some mail to kind of show off a little bit too coming up. I got some more Diamond Star cards that I wanted to kind of show and feature a little bit on the channel.
We just picked up 3 Bill Dickey cards, so we're excited about that.
Mitch, tell me when you're ready. Tell me when
I don't
you're
have
ready.
Bill Dickey yet for the set, but I will. Yeah.
What do you got?
Tell me. I want Mitch to tell me when he's ready.
What you got?
Ready? Ready?
I'm ready.
What do you got?
All right. So we got the 1968 Topps Nolan Ryan. Now, my thing is the only reason I brought this over is because if we can get a Nolan Ryan rookie, we can definitely get a Tom Seaver. Because
He's
who
a little
in
bit
the comment thinks that who thinks that Tom Seaver is who's better, Tom Seaver or Nolan Ryan?
Ooh.
Because Because if you guys say that Nolan Ryan's
That's a good
better,
question.
and if you guys say it in the comments if Nolan Ryan's better, then that means that it's easier to get a Tom Seaver rookie than a Nolan Ryan rookie.
If I follow the logic, yeah.
Mitch, did you buy yours graded or not?
Mine's not graded. Yeah.
Oh, it's not
Yeah,
graded.
this is SGC 2 from our guy John.
Recently did that set last month, so you can look at
No,
it.
but your Seaver, the one that you showed, was that graded?
It was graded. It
Or
was
was
graded.
it-
Yeah.
No, but
PSA holder.
did you grade it or it came graded?
It came graded. It's an old
Oh, it came
PSA
graded.
holder. Yeah, had to go through the authentication process. So
Okay. Yep.
my
Yeah.
pick would be Tom Seaver.
We got 65 cards coming back from SGC, so that's going to be a nice reveal.
That's gonna be a cool video.
Yeah.
I think. Oh wait, Dad, tell him. So when we're gonna do the reveal, what we're gonna do is a whatnot live with Midwest, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna only run our SGC slabs, nothing else, nothing else.
He loves Whatnot, so we're on Whatnot a lot. You do a lot of eBay, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I get a lot of stuff there in card shows. So
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna do
The one
the.
here at the end of the month. That's pretty big. So
Yeah.
You want? Are you gonna? Do you
Oh, you're
want-
going. Yeah, that's good. That's right there. How far is that from you?
20 minutes.
Oh, nice.
Wait, but Mitch, do you ever do you have that whatnot app?
I don't at this point, but maybe I'll have to look into it, especially if you're on there, Jay.
Looking for any certain cards at the National?
I will. I got a list of like about 20 cards that if I run into them at the right price, I'd like to be able to kind of pick it up. But I've been wanting to knock out the Diamond Stars, Luke Appling, and Al Simmons for a little while to kind of get those White Sox players into not just the collection, but start working towards the set. So
Yeah.
maybe I'd like to pick up those if I can find them. Hopefully, maybe even from the same person that's got a couple Diamond Stars together at once. So,
Yeah. That's cool.
all right. Well,
All right.
we're gonna maybe wrap this one up for tonight. Thanks,
Great.
guys, for watching. Guess we have to figure out what will be the next set we'll feature in the future here. So,
Do you have the 78?
yeah, I do.
Oh, there we go.
70s and 80s. So,
Oh, that's gonna be our next live.
We have it.
I've actually not shown
Yeah.
that set yet on my channel. That's
There we go.
I kind of open that one up and share with people. I have to figure out which one I'm going to do for this month. So,
I guess. Oh wait. I gotta comment on the Nolan Ryan question. Nolan Ryan is more of a hobby darling, but it may be closer than we think.
Yeah.
Seaver 3 Cy Young awards. Nolan Ryan has
0.
But guys, Nolan Ryan's fast pitch
Fastball.
is just the best.
It is the best.
But also, Tom Seaver has the best form. He has the Cy Young form. I mean, put it over your head, you come down, you go.
All right, what do we like to say when we wrap it up?
so we're wrapping up here.
Go Yankees!
Oh, and to be continued.
There you go.
With the next
Okay.
part 3.
Mitch, thank you for having us.
Okay. Absolutely. Looking forward to your VR responses coming up.
Yes.
Have a great night, everybody.
Have a nice
See you later, guys.
See you later.